It's sunny but cold and windy here in Massachusetts. Wind chill at 24 degrees. And Buffalo has won the toss and have elected to receive the football. The standings in the AFC East, New England at 4-4, trying to go to 500, over 500 rather, with a win today. Buffalo at 1-6. So Adam Vinatieri ready to kick it off. Back deep, Avion Black and Nate Clements. Clements returned to punt last week, 66 yards for a touchdown versus Indianapolis. We're underway from Foxborough. This will be Clements from his own 5. Clements gets outside, bottled up, and finally goes out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Larry Izzo with the special teams tackle. So Rob Johnson trots onto the field. He leads the AFC in rushing, 9-16 as a starter.
And Gus, they've brought the West Coast offense to Buffalo this year, and there's an adjustment period. And Rob, you've seen the Bills go up and down this year, really haven't been consistent. And a big part of that is the receivers and quarterbacks being on the same page. But the most important thing today will be the Bills giving Rob Johnson time to throw that ball.
The leading quarterback rusher in the AFC, 1st and 10 from the 27. Centers and Henry in the backfield. Here's Henry over the right side. Gets to the 30.
He's up, man. He's up. My dog.
A gain of 3, tackled by Roman Pfeiffer. Offensively for Buffalo, let's take a look. They've had all kinds of problems with injuries on the offensive line. Ostrowski back this week, Halsey, Connolly Brown, and Jonas Jennings. Backs and receivers, Travis Henry had a little hip pointer against Indianapolis, but he's okay. Centers, Molds, and Price with Jay Reamersma, the very effective tight end, especially inside the red zone.
And Gus, especially in that 2 deep situation, they're going to see a lot of that today.
2nd and 7 from the 30. Johnson going up the sideline, and it's caught. Great over-the-shoulder catch by Peerless Price, a gain of 33.
And Peerless Price is just going to run a go route. You see him get off the line versus Otis Smith. Just keeps staying with it. Ball got some air on it and just catches it over his outside shoulder. There's a nice job of focusing on with that ball. And Otis Smith has been having a solid year here for the Patriots, but he has a tendency every once in a while to get beat deep.
Peerless Price averaging 20.6 yards per reception. That leads the NFL. 1st and 10 from the 37. And Rob Johnson calls a timeout. Some confusion at the line of scrimmage. Opening moments of the first quarter, Buffalo driving. Bill Belichick's team started 0-2, but they've won 2 of their last 3 on the road at Indianapolis and at Atlanta. Buffalo driving right now, though, 1st and 10 from the 37. And they run the ball, get to the 29-yard line. Travis Henry with the carry. Defensively for New England, last week against Atlanta, 9 sacks by 8 different players. Hamilton, Mitchell, Pleasant. They run the 3-4. The linebackers, Vrabel on one end, Pfeiffer with Johnson and Bruschi in the middle. And in the secondary, Ty Law is going to have his hands full with Eric Mold, Smith, Jones, and Lawyer Malloy, the hard-hitting safety for Romeo Crennel's defense. 2nd down and 3 from the 30. Johnson changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Mold splits wide to the top of your screen. Play clock winding down. Here's Henry over the left side. Not a lot of room. Chopped down at the 31. Anthony Pleasant with the tackle. On the other sideline, Greg Williams in his first year with the Bills, and we had a chance to talk to him yesterday. This is a positive, no-nonsense kind of coach. You know he's going to turn it around.
And we really enjoyed talking to Greg Williams. And when he came in and took this job, he knew that this Buffalo Bills team was going to be decimated by the salary cap. They were so far over, had to get rid of some veterans, had to make some changes, and a lot of young players on this roster. But he's building it the right way. There's no shortcuts to building a quality team in the NFL.
3rd down and 4. They need to go to the 27 for a 1st down. Here's Johnson, flag on the play. Johnson scrambling out of the pocket, looking for the 1st down. It'll be close, depending on the spot, but there is a flag. Ty Law ushering him out of bounds.
Ty Law actually doing a nice job coming off the wide receiver and keeping Johnson from getting that 1st down.
But it will go against Buffalo.
And you know, Gus, I go ahead and decline this. It'd be 4th and 1. They didn't make the first down. Don't give them another crack at having a successful 3rd down.
Bill Belichick, longtime assistant to Bill Parcells with the Jets and the Giants. Former head coach in Cleveland.
And I think he actually wants a measurement, Gus, before he goes ahead and makes this decision. There's a little delay on whether to accept that penalty or not. It looks like from up here about a yard, maybe just a little less than a yard. And you know, 4th and 1 if you're the Buffalo Bills. And there's Brian Cox, of course, down there helping the referees try to decide. You know, he's going to always have something to say whether he's in uniform or not. But you're a yard short, and if you're the Buffalo Bills,
go for it.
You got to go for it. You got to change things around. You got to get that winning attitude. You're on the road. Don't take the easy 3. Go for it. You've talked about needing to get that running game going.
Greg Williams so far keeping his offense on the field.
Illegal formation. Offense. Number 75 did not line up on the line of scrimmage. The penalty is declined. 4th down.
Jonas Jennings. Jennings, a rookie out of Georgia.
And I think this is the right call for the Bills. You got to change the momentum. Had a tough year thus far this year. Get something positive going. Now this on the other side, this will be a huge stop for the Patriots playing at home.
So here we go, 4th down and 1 from the 28. Moulds lines up at the top of your screen. Crosby and Henry in the backfield. Henry straight ahead. I don't think he got it. I don't believe he got it. Leading the way, Willie McGinnis.
And you know what? I saw Lawyer Malloy come flying up right before the snap, and he probably got some penetration back there and allowed McGinnis. And you see 36 coming right into the backfield. Huge penetration, big play, Patriots defense.
So coming up, the Patriots and Tom Brady on offense.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 36. IBM, taking e-business and your business to the next level. And by Saturn, now with 2 distinctively different car lines, the L Series and S Series.
1st and 10 from the 29-yard line for Tom Brady. Play action on 1st down. Here's Edwards on the screen play with running room and is tackled at the 34. A gain of 6. Deshaun Polk with the stop. But let's go back to that 4th down play.
Key play early in the game. Watch Lawyer Malloy, the strong safety, shoot this gap and take out the fullback right now. Philip Crosby eats up his block, allows penetration. Willie McGinnis is going to get credit for that tackle, but Lawyer Malloy made that play on the safety blitz.
So the Patriots pumped up early, 2nd and 4 from the 35. Edwards in motion. Here's the toss. Antoine Smith breaking it back. And Antoine Smith goes down at the 35. No gain on the play. Aaron Schobel with the tackle. Tom Brady, 4-2 as a starter, 21-31 last week versus Atlanta, 250 yards. He threw to 8 different receivers, and according to his teammates, this guy is the real deal.
He is the real deal, and just sitting down talking to him, your eyes got big when he made one statement. Hey, I looked off the safety. Young quarterbacks don't talk about that. You see so many quarterbacks reading one side of the field. I know that you're right on top of that, too, because we talk about that all the time.
3rd down 4 from the 35. They need to go to the 39 for 1st down. Here's Brady dropping back, steps up, in trouble. Brady sacked at the 26. Nicely done. Schobel, the rookie from TCU, a 2nd-round pick with the sack.
And Schobel's shown a knack, actually, to rush the passers. Got some good speed coming on the outside. Watch number 94. He's going inside right now. Keep fighting. Gets passed off to the guard. You see him toss him off. Keep those legs churning down on his hands and knees. That's called good motor. Keep with it.
1st sack of the season for the rookie. Patriots will have to punt it away. Peerless Price, Nate Clements back deep. Walter sends it away. And this will be Price inside his own 15. Peerless Price wrestled down at the 20. Special teams tackle made by Bucky Jones. 57-yard punt, a 5-yard return. Rob Johnson receiving instructions. Tom Brady on the sideline as the Patriots come up empty on their first offensive possession of the game. And let's take a look at the series note. The last 3 meetings between these teams, all going into overtime. First down and 10 for Buffalo. At their own 20, play action. Johnson sets up deep in the pocket, looks down the field. It's broken up at the last moment. Otis Smith making up some ground while the ball was in the air. Intended for Reggie Germany.
And you know what? Rob Johnson throwing that ball into the wind. It's about 25 miles per hour, and that ball hung up because Reggie Germany had a couple of steps on Otis. Allowed Otis to catch up. That wind holding the ball up there, and a pretty significant wind out there today, Gus.
Flags blowing at the top of the stadium. Otis Smith last week had an interception versus Atlanta. 2nd and 10 from the 20. Here's Henry over the left side with running room. Gets down the sideline. Out of bounds at make it the 26. A gain of 7. And Brent, this Buffalo offense averages 110 yards rushing per game. Tied for 13th in the league. But they said today they want to run it even more.
They really have got to stick with it. And a big part of that is because their offensive line has had trouble pass protecting. When you're an offensive lineman, you want to run the ball every play because nobody calls your name out for giving up sacks. And Travis Henry, I've been impressed watching him on film. Built low to the ground, about 5'9", 220 pounds. Really, he's got some good leverage staying down low.
3rd down and short. They need 2 from the 28. Here's Johnson to throw underneath Moulds with the catch at the 35 and a first down. Tackled on the play by Ty Law. A gain of 7.
And let's see Eric Moulds in the slot after going in motion. You see the blitz from the Patriots, and that's a hot read right there. Of course, Eric Moulds has been around in this league a long time. Him and Rob Johnson on the same page. That blitz comes. You got to look right now on a hot look.
Moulds, the 4th player in the franchise's history to record 300 receptions. Johnson blitzed and taken down. Roman Pfeiffer. So let's go to Jim Nantz right now in New York.
All right, Gus, in Cleveland, backed up to the dog pound. Pittsburgh allows its first points of the season as the bus is sacked for a safety. First points on the Steelers in the first quarter this season. Let's go back to Gus and Brent.
All right, Jim, heartbreaking loss last week for the Browns at Chicago. Game going into overtime. Much improved Cleveland Browns franchise. 2nd and 17 from the 28. Larry centers the lone setback. Here's Johnson. All day to throw. Starts to dance out of the pocket. Gets rid of it and out of bounds. Moulds with the catch at the 30. It's a gain of 3.
And Gus, sometimes just a gain of 3 is better than a sack. You just to get that ball. And you know, people have talked about Rob Johnson holding the ball too long, but right there, all of his receivers were covered, and there was nowhere for him to go with it. And we've talked about him being able to step out of the pocket and make some things happen with his feet. But looks like on 1st and 2nd down thus far today, they've gone to the pass, and they talked about having to run the ball.
Johnson, first in the National Football League, completing 71% of his 3rd down passes. He's faced with a 3rd and 14 at the 31. They need to go to the 45. Johnson, a lot of time to throw, now gets out of the pocket. And Johnson tiptoes out of bounds at the 35, and they'll have to punt it away. So Rob Johnson, who leads quarterbacks in rushing in the AFC, great wheels, unable to pick up the first down. Brings on Brian Moorman to send it away. Troy Brown, Kevin Falk back deep. Moorman stands at the 21. Low snap, handle, end over end kick. Picked up at the 35 by Brown with the lane. Troy Brown needs one block. Gets down the sideline, cuts it back in, and steps out of bounds at the Buffalo 35. A 28-yard punt, a 30-yard return. So with 6:32 to go here in the first quarter of play, New England with excellent field position.
Yeah, and when you get a punt that's a line drive, that's a punt returner's dream. No height, comes right to Troy Brown, comes up, running up, and we know that he has some elusiveness. Doing a great job this year as the #1 receiver. You see him make some moves and get outside.
Brown averaging 10 yards per return. Here's the pitch, Antoine Smith. And Smith chopped down at the 37 for a loss. Tackle on the play by Winfield. So offensively for New England, let's take a look. Williams, Compton, Damian Woody is the leader at center, and Druzzi and Greg Robinson Randall. Backs and receivers, Antoine Smith, 117 yards rushing last week versus Atlanta. Edwards, Brown, and Patton with Jermaine Wiggins at tight end. 2nd and 12 from the 37. Empty backfield for the Patriots. 4-receiver combination. Here's Brady underneath. Strike at the 27. Troy Brown with the reception. And these corners for Buffalo, they said they're going to play man-to-man with their receivers today.
Yeah, they're going to stay with them all day long. You're going to see Troy Brown get a chance right here, and this one zone. So we didn't get the man-to-man coverage, but Antoine Winfield told us that he's going to follow Troy Brown all over the field for most of the day.
Brings up 3rd down 3 from the 28. Brown lines up in the slot. Here's the reverse. Brown with blocking in front of him. Brown cuts it inside. Brown still running. Tackled at the 9 and a flag on the play. Kendrick Office pulls him down. But let's see. A 19-yard run.
Holding 81 offense. Hard penalty. Result of the play will still be a first down.
So a holding penalty called against New England. However, it comes after Brown gets the first down. Charles Johnson with the hold.
And here's Charles Johnson right here, downfield blocking. And he gets some jersey, and this is where they're going to call it right there when you see the defensive player going down on the ground, Ken Irvin.
Makes it 1st and 10 from the 21. As the Patriots break to the line of scrimmage. 4:42 to go here in the first quarter. No score. Antoine Smith, the deep back, gets the pitch, squares his shoulders, and pounds it ahead to the 11. Antoine Smith, what an interesting story. Was projected as the runner of the future for Buffalo a few years back. As a matter of fact, back in 1998, he rushed for 1,100 yards. However, offensive coordinator Joe Pendry didn't really like him very much in Buffalo, and he didn't play him. He came over here to New England because he felt that he'd have a chance to start, and he's doing a good job. Ignored the last 2 years. 2nd down and 1, gain 9 on the play from the 12. Brown in motion. Here's Smith again with the first down and some. Extra effort. Antoine Smith drags Buffalo Bills down to the 5. Sean Price with the tackle after a gain of 7. Defensively for the Bills, they gave up 100 yards to Dominique Rhodes, who replaced Edgerrin James last week. Flowers, Price, Williams. Meanwhile, the linebackers, Brandon Spoon, a rookie in the middle. And in the secondary, Clements and Winfield, both out of Ohio State. Tillman and Hill are the safeties.
This is Jermaine Wiggins' time. The Patriots got to get their tight end involved in this offense. This is the best area to do it down here in the red zone.
1st and goal from the 6 into the end zone. Caught! Kevin Funk. A spectacular catch. And the Patriots are on the board.
His greatest asset is catching the ball coming out of the backfield. Got him lined up as a wide receiver. Watch the ball thrown away from him, and he opens up his hips, turns back, and makes the grab. That's a big-time catch for anybody, but especially a running back.
One-on-one with the linebacker, Foreman. Vinatieri in to attempt the extra point. And it's good. So the Patriots strike first. A 6-play drive covering 35 yards. Kevin Falk with a beautiful reception. New England leads it.
NFL on CBS is sponsored by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Be you, nothing's better. Dr. Pepper. And by GMC. From professional grade people come professional grade trucks.
Welcome back, New England with a 7-0 lead. Tom Brady has thrown 11 touchdown passes in the last 5 games. And New England very impressive inside the red zone. They've scored on 21 of 27 possessions, 14 touchdowns, 7 field goals. Vinatieri ready to send it away. Clements and Black back deep. This is Clements inside the 5. Taken down at the 25. A 22-yard return to Bucky Jones again on special teams. '77th consecutive sellout at Foxborough Stadium. Patriots get on the board first, 7-0 on top of Buffalo on the Kevin Falk touchdown reception. So Rob Johnson and the Bills start first and 10 at their own 25. Travis Henry straight ahead, nothing doing.
Travis Henry on the carry.
Richard Seymour in on the play. Monday on CBS, it's an all-new night of great television, starting with The King of Queens, followed by Yes Dear, and Monday's #1 comedy, Everybody Loves Raymond. Then stay tuned for Ted Danson and Becker, plus don't miss an all-new Family Law. It's all here Monday on CBS. A loss of 1 on the last play, 2nd down and 11 from the 24. For the Bills, Peerless Price goes in motion. Henry again looking for running room, crosses the 25 and gets close to the 30-yard line. Busy day in the NFL. Here's Jim Nantz in New York.
Well, Gus, we're going to stay right in the AFC East. Miami at Indianapolis, and Travis Minor running the sidelines, breaking free, 56 yards for the touchdown. And how about this news? Dominique Rhodes in for the injured Edgerrin James, out with a shoulder injury, unlikely to return today. They're down to the 3rd team back there with the Colts. Let's go back to you.
So Rhodes out, Edgerrin James with a sprained knee, trouble in Indianapolis for a team that never gets hurt, especially with the big 3. Johnson fired to the sideline, incomplete on 3rd down, a flag on the play.
And I think they're going to call pass interference because that ball was in the air. And usually you have that 5-yard chuck zone as a defensive back. You don't expect the ball to come out right away. And you're going to see Terrence Shaw holding Peerless Price, and they threw the flanker screen. You can't throw the flanker screen and bump and run. Rob Johnson has got to get out of that play because you just can't make that happen. That could be an interception. It can be all kinds of problems coming from out there. You've got to know you've got to have a check where the receiver runs a fade route or something like that, a go route. You can't just go ahead and.
Well, the referees are huddling right now. Jeff Triplett is the leader. So holding called against New England. And an eligible man downfield for the Bills.
Wow, and it's tough to get downfield on a flanker screen for an offensive lineman that quickly. Somebody must have got down there.
Holding 26 defense. Ineligible downfield. Number 76 offense. Those penalties offset. Repeat, 3rd down.
And they call the holding on the wrong player. It's actually Terrence Shaw right there grabbing jersey of Peerless Price, and you see the ball coming right now. I don't know if Buffalo has a 76.
They don't have a 76.
So they screwed up both the numbers. They made the right call. They just couldn't figure out who to call it on.
3rd down and 6 from the 29. They need to go to the 35 for a first down. Larry centers the single setback. Johnson under pressure steps up and is sacked at the 21. Ty Law, 2nd sack of the day.
And Gus, the Patriots brought 12 blitzes from the secondary last week. That was a huge number versus Atlanta. You see Ty Law is going to come in untouched, just clipped by Larry Sanders right there. Misses Rob Johnson the first time. Whoop! Turns the corner, comes right back and nails him.
Whoop, there it is.
There you go.
There he was.
Whoop.
Richard Seymour also with some pressure.
Yeah, and Richard Seymour, we're going to talk more about him as the game goes along. Collapsing that pocket.
Last few games, the Patriots have been awesome defensively. 15 sacks in the last 3. Brings on Brian Moorman, his last punt, 28 yards, which helps set up a touchdown. Troy Brown returning at 30 yards. Moorman from the 7, wobbly kick, gets caught in the wind, and Brown fair catches it inside his own 40. 39-yard punt. Pittsburgh and Cleveland, one of the great rivalries. Here's Jim Nantz.
All right, we showed you earlier the safety of Bettis, and after the kick to the Browns, Couch comes back to O.J. Santiago for the touchdown. 9-0 Cleveland first quarter. Back to you, Gus.
All right, Jim, the standings in the AFC Central, a bruising division this year. Cleveland at 4-3, chasing Pittsburgh and Baltimore. And Baltimore will face Tennessee on Monday night. Brady back into the game, 1st and 10 at his own 39. Wiggins in motion. Here's Brady going for the home run. Terrell Buckley in at receiver. It's intercepted. And he got both feet in. Antoine Winfield with the interception.
And guys, this is something that we hadn't seen almost at all this year other than one quarter where Tom Brady threw 4 interceptions. He throws it right into double coverage. You see Buckley in there and you think, hey, I got a special play. And actually not necessarily double coverage, but that safety was getting over there. But Terrell Buckley did not have Antoine Winfield beat. You see Winfield just waiting for the ball. Nice job of getting got the elbow in, guys. You see, people want to know where his feet in. His elbow hit, that's inbounds, even though his feet came down out.
So Winfield with his 2nd interception of the season, 1st and 10 from the 22, and they run it. Henry looking for some real estate, gets over the 25, stopped by Lawyer Malloy. Log on to NFL.com and vote for the AFC and NFC All-Stars to play in the 2002 Pro Bowl. Vote now only at NFL.com or AOL, keyword NFL.com. There he is. We spoke to that young man. Very impressive in our meetings yesterday from Akron, Ohio. Played at Ohio State and has a lot of confidence in his covering ability. 2nd and 7 from the 25. Johnson, delayed handoff. Henry again bounces it outside. Flag on the play. And Henry tripped up at the 33 after a gain of 7. Maybe a face mask.
Yeah, I didn't see any other players around that flag. Usually the officials throw that flag where something's going on, and there was nobody over there. And
it is. Face mask against New England.
Personal foul. Face mask. 36 defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
And that's the big one.
That is the big one, and you don't want to get a big one, and that means you're grabbing on and hanging on. Probably had some neck action there. Here's Lawyer Malloy, and that's grabbing and hanging on. That's when they call the big one.
Instead of a 5-yard penalty, it's a 15-yarder for Lawyer Malloy. And the Bills will most likely let the clock run out. 7 seconds to go here in the first quarter. And that is the end of the first quarter with the score New England 7, Buffalo nothing. We'll return to Foxborough Stadium after this message. You're watching the National Football League on CBS Sports. Tom Brady throwing his 7th interception of the season. New England leads at 7-0. Rob Johnson and the Buffalo offense trying to get something going right here at the beginning of the second quarter. They hand it off. Henry over the right side with some running room. Gets to the New England 45 after a gain of 8. Richard Seymour with the tackle. Tonight on 60 Minutes, what was it that caused the nightmares that terrified New York's tough-as-nails police commissioner? Let him tell you. Tonight on 60 Minutes. So far,
they've been
Buffalo
sticking with the run.
Sticking with it.
That's what they've got to do. One of the other things they said they were going to move the pocket, move Rob Johnson around so he's not at the same launch point the whole day.
Out of the shotgun. Johnson steps up. Underneath, caught by Reemersma, who pounds his way to the 9. Jay Reemersma, gain of 36. And that should make you happy.
I love that, and I love Jay Reemersma. He does a great job of beating that 2-deep coverage. He said if they play that, we've got some plays down the middle today, and that's exactly what you've got. You've got the tight end coming into your screen from the left-hand side, one-on-one. Ted Johnson, the linebacker. You know as a linebacker, you've got that deep middle. It's tough. Reemersma's a big target, got good speed for a big man. And that's where they usually like him, Gus, down the middle, also in the red zone right now.
In his 5th year, former quarterback at the University of Michigan. 1st and goal from the 9. They hand it off. Henry breaking it back. And Henry stacked up at the 5. First man to him, Matt Stevens, the safety.
Johnson and Malone.
And we've talked about this Patriots defense playing a lot of that cover 2. That's virtually a double on the outside wide receivers on Peerless Price and Eric Moulds. And to take advantage of that, you got to hit your fullbacks, you got to hit your big tight end, and that's what Rob Johnson has done thus far. And they've stuck with the run. This is a crucial play, though, right here. You don't want to be 3rd and long down here. Got to make a big play right here. Get it close.
2nd and goal from the 4. Out of the eye. New England showing blitz. Henry bounces it outside, dives, and his knee down at the 1.
And I'm not so sure if that ball didn't cross the plane when his knee hit. Well, heck of an effort by Travis Henry. Needless to say, we're gonna get the chance to see it right here. Here comes Travis Henry getting out, bouncing. Is that ball over before his knee hits? There's the knee right there, and it didn't look like it.
Great call by the officials.
There's the knee down right there, and there's the ball just going over.
Makes it 3rd down and goal. Fans rising to their feet here in Foxborough. Henry in motion out of the backfield. And the left guard jumps.
You can't do that. We just talked about 2nd down being so crucial because you get it close and you can run it, you can play action it. It's so close. Now you're going to be 3rd and 6, and everybody knows that you're throwing the ball. Left tackle right here. Jeez. Big Jonas Jennings. Got to hold your water. That's what we used to say.
Really?
Got to hold your water.
First penalty against the Bills this afternoon. 3rd down goal from the 6. Larry Sinners, really great receiving out of the backfield. Johnson looking in the end zone. Incomplete. Eric Moulds had a crease in the back of the end zone. Couldn't hold on, couldn't keep 2 feet in.
And I'm not sure even if Eric Moulds was able to hang on to that, if he would have been able to get those feet down. The ball is high, he's getting up in the air. You're going to see him run the post route coming across the back of the end zone. Here it's high, and you see him land about a yard out of bounds. Yep, just too much momentum carrying him out. Man, you just can't make those mistakes on the 1-yard line.
Brings on Jake Arians. His last 2 field goal attempts have been blocked. This one from 24 yards. Reemersma, the holder. It's up. And good. So Buffalo has to settle for 3 points. And with 11:38 to go in the second quarter of play, 7-3 is our score. 11:38 to go here in the second quarter of play. New England with a 7-3 lead. Look at the scoring drive, a 24-yard field goal for Arians. Bills send it away. Falk from the 2. And Falk over the 20. Hops forward, gets to the 31. A 29-yard return. Now Saturday, it'll be a wild walk in the swamp when Bobby Bowden's Florida State Seminoles tangle with Rex Grossman and the Florida Gators. It's the Hatfields and McCoys pigskin style Saturday in primetime right here on CBS Sports. Florida State losing yesterday at home to North Carolina State, their first loss at home in the ACC. 1st and 10 from the 32. Here goes the handoff. Antoine Smith. Power running. Stopped by Keith Newman. A gain of 6 on the play.
And you know, you'd think this would be a revenge game for Antoine Smith, but he says he still has a lot of friends in Buffalo, and the guys that made it miserable for him, the guys that he didn't agree with, Joe Pendry, Wade Phillips, aren't there any longer. So it's not really a revenge game. He says, hey, I expect these guys to be hitting me hard and Big Pat Williams to be trash talking me, but hey, it's just another game, and I'll shake their hand after the game and say, hey, all right, guys, good job.
2nd and 4 at the 38. The pitch, Smith. Big running lane. And Smith is down at the 49. Great blocking on the right side for Antoine Smith. Winfield with the tackle after a gain of 9.
And let's watch Antoine Smith. And there's Big Pat Williams, number 93, getting over there. And Antoine Smith's by him before he knows what happened. And, you know, Antoine Smith wears on you during the course of a game. He's power and speed, a great combination. And the more that he can run the ball, the more that things are going to loosen up in the secondary here and allow the Patriots to be able to get that ball downfield as well.
He's 6'2", 230 pounds. 31 yards so far. 1st down. Smith again, this time tripped up in the backfield. Getting to him, Jay Foreman reaching out. Foreman in his 3rd season out of Nebraska.
You know, thus far today, the wide receivers for the Patriots, Troy Brown, been a little quiet. Been interesting because we talked about the coverage, the man coverage that they're going to get from Nate Clements out there and Antoine Winfield. And both Troy Brown and David Patton haven't had a whole lot of noise going on yet.
2nd and 12. Brady under pressure loses it and pounces on the football. They say his arm was going forward. It's an incomplete pass.
And even if the ball slips, if your arm's going forward, they call that an incomplete pass. Once that motion starts and you see him try to pull it back, Tom Brady wasn't taking any chances. He was still falling on the ball. Sometimes that ball's slippery. You get that pump going.
Makes it 3rd down and 12. At the 47, they need to go to the 41 of Buffalo for a 1st down. Play action. Brady sets up, looks, fires. It's caught at the 30-yard line. David Patton with the reception. 1st down, New England. Gain of 25.
There's some noise from David Patton. And it's tough controlling these wide receivers when you've got your quarterback having so much time. You see Tom Brady able to step up into the pocket and put some juice on it. David Patton doing a great job coming across on the deep over route. The susceptibility of this Buffalo Bills defense is that deep middle. You can see his targets that he's had thus far this year coming into today's game.
At the Buffalo 27, another reverse. This time it's Patton hopping forward. David Patton down at the 19. Big Pat Williams catching him. But David Patton played in Cleveland last year, started his career on special teams with the New York Giants. And here's a guy that 5 years ago, he was working in a coffee bean factory, loading trucks of 70-pound coffee beans. Bags of coffee beans, rather, and he is really appreciative of the opportunity to play in this league.
He told us that situation really keeps him grounded. I didn't know if he was trying to be funny or not.
Coffee grounds, okay. They run it forward, down at the 19. 8:05 to play in the second. There's David Patton. Very religious young man. And he can fly.
Yes, he can. We asked him if he was the fastest guy on the team. He said, hey, put anybody on the line. I'm ready to go. That's usually a yes.
3rd and 2 from the 19. Troy Brown in motion. They hand it off, and this is Falk running forward down at the 15.
Flag down on the play.
But a flag on the play.
Yeah, and I think we're going to get a hold.
Make that Antoine Smith with the ball.
And I think Grant Williams is holding over here on the left side of the line.
Holding, 76 offense, 10-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
So Bill Belichick now faced with the 3rd down and 12 at the Buffalo 29. They need to go to the 17 for 1st down. Some late substitutions coming on the field for Buffalo. Brady out of the shotgun. This ball, trick play run by Kevin Falk, fooled everybody, including us. He gains 8.
Hey, don't say us, the partner.
Didn't see it.
You didn't say it. I just saw it the whole time. I saw Tom
You
Brady
didn't say
drop back
anything.
to pass well because I'm not the play-by-play guy. You're going to watch Kevin Falk from your side come in and take the snap. Watch Tom Brady with the fake. See, look at that. He faked you out. Good play fake by Tom Brady. You got Gus, Tom.
He certainly did.
But that was good, and that's part of it. The quarterback carrying through that fake. I know Buffalo fell for it for the most part.
And a flag on the play. A personal foul has been called against Buffalo.
Half the distance, automatic 1st down.
And a 1st down.
And you know, one of the things that Greg Williams, the coach of the Bills, told us yesterday, we're too young and not talented enough to overcome turnovers and stupid mistakes. We saw one already on the 1-yard line. That's another one. Would have been 4th down, personal foul, automatic 1st down. You just can't do that, especially on the road.
9th play of the drive that started at the 32. Tavares Tillman with the penalty. They hand it off, and Buffalo's defense swarming. Pat Williams tackling Kevin Falk for a loss. And that'll make it 2nd down and 14. There's Big Pat from Monroe, Louisiana.
And you see him kind of hobbling off there, Gus.
He misses his buddy.
Yeah, he does. His big buddy, Antoine Smith. He nailed him right there. But if he's limping, that's trouble for this Buffalo Bills defense, especially the middle, where Pat Williams is such a force.
That wasn't his buddy. That's not the buddy I was talking about.
Oh, yeah, his other buddy.
Ted Washington.
Ted Washington in Chicago, calling him up, saying there's in 1st place.
2nd and 14. Brady all day to throw. Now steps up and goes down. Coverage sack for the Bills. 2nd sack of the game. Schobel once again getting to Tom Brady. That's his 2nd sack.
And you made the call, coverage sack. Nate Clements, Antoine Winfield, and the safeties for this Buffalo Bills defense doing a nice job versus the wide receivers for the New England Patriots.
Jerry Gray, the defensive coordinator. Tough job for these coaches with a young, inexperienced team.
You know, I played against Jerry Gray. He couldn't catch me. He and Jerry Rice would have huge battles.
3rd down, 15 from the 16. Here's Brady, dumps it off to Falk, breaks it back, and Falk running, flag on the play, loses it. It's picked up by Buffalo's Winfield. And Antoine Winfield advances it to the 20.
And I think what they're going to call, it took a while to get the ball out there. I think they're going to call illegal lineman downfield. And Buffalo's going to get a hang on to this ball, I'd imagine.
2nd turnover of the game for the Patriots.
Ineligible downfield. 76 on the offense. That penalty is declined. 1st and 10, Buffalo.
Grant Williams.
And here's the hit and the fumble. Kevin Falk's been known for having troubles hanging onto the ball.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. The United States Marine Corps. For 226 years of faithful service, thank you, Marines. Happy birthday. And by Miller Lite. Grab a Miller Lite. It's Miller time.
Beautiful fall day here in New England. 7-3. Patriots with the lead. Buffalo forces the turnover. They have it at their own 20. Rob Johnson scrambling out of the pocket. Picked off. Otis Smith. In and out of the hands of his intended receiver, and the tide turns quickly.
Classic opportunity to move the pocket. Sheldon Jackson getting the ball delivered right in the hands from Rob Johnson, and tip balls in those situations are always interceptions.
So Otis Smith with a very important interception for New England. Smith in his 12th season makes it 1st and 10 from the 24. Tom Brady and the New England offense get another chance. They pitch it to Smith. Antoine Smith. And Antoine is down at the 20. Gain 4 on the play. He'll bring up 2nd and 6. For the best NFL coverage on the net, including expert analysis and live scoreboards, go to cbs.sportsline.com or AOL, keyword CBS Sportsline.
And we've been seeing Antoine Smith getting 5, 6, 7 yards of crack, especially over that right side of the Patriots offensive line. Joe Andruzzi, Greg Robinson Randall, and big Damian Williams, center. He should be going to the Pro Bowl this year, clearing the way for him.
9 carries, 34 yards for Smith. Running once again, and this time he gets to the 19. Pat Williams with the tackle. And Pat Williams told us in our meetings yesterday, this is going to be a lot of fun because finally I can lay a helmet on Antoine.
And he said, first thing I'm going to tell him, this isn't practice anymore, pal. Because practicing against him all those years, they couldn't smack him.
Smacked him there. 3rd and 5 from the 19. Pat with 5 tackles already. They need to go to the 14 for first down. Brady, straight drop back. Brady in trouble, sacked again at the 25. And it's Schobel. 3 sacks in the first half of play for this rookie out of TCU. The defensive player of the year in the Western Athletic Conference.
And watch him coming off the edge right here. Lined up wide, coming back inside, using his strength, keeps that going. You see the arm rip underneath. Beating Grant Williams right to Tom Brady. Man, that guy's a force.
And Grant Williams has had a horrendous first half. Adam Vinatieri to attempt a 43-yarder. It's up. And he pushes it wide right. So New England allowing Buffalo to stay in this game. 3:29 to go. 7-3 the score. 7-3. There's a guy that New England misses, Brian Cox.
And he's got a broken leg, and he's said 4 to 6 weeks. I'm going to be back. He said this was a big game for him today because on paper he said we're supposed to win. It's going to tell a lot about the strength of this team.
1st and 10 from the 33. And the Bills continue to keep it on the ground. Travis Henry running once again. Now tonight on CBS, don't miss the I Love Lucy 50th anniversary special with never-before-seen footage and a countdown of the top 10 funniest episodes. Join some of Hollywood's biggest stars as they share their favorite Lucy memories on the I Love Lucy 50th anniversary special tonight on CBS. 2nd and 10 from the 33, and no room on that left side for Travis Henry. Hamilton with the tackle.
And Brian Cox told me if this team is going to go to the playoffs, we're going to have to do it on the defensive side of the ball here the second half of the season. We're going to have to start shutting down people. He said our offense is good enough to get to the playoffs.
And Brian Cox knocked out of the lineup after suffering a broken leg when Dan Neal blocked him. Neal was fined $15,000 by the NFL, but no penalty was called on the play. Cox says that he will be back before the end of the year.
And when he says it, you know he means it.
Third down 10 from the 33. They need to go to the 43 for first down. They set up the screen. And this is Centers running. Larry Centers gets close. But I believe he'll be a little short. Stevens with the tackle.
And he's going to be about a half a yard short, it looks like, Gus, at least from up here. That's one of the things that the Bills need to do, run more screens and more draws. Take some of that pressure off the offensive line, the quarterback, if you're getting blitz. And they've been getting a lot today. That's how you keep the defense honest.
And with that reception, Centers has become only the second running back in NFL history to record 6,000 receiving yards. Ronnie Harmon the other at 6,068. So they're a hair short. And that takes us to the 2-minute warning. Greg Williams and the Bills have a decision to make right after this.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by DirecTV, the #1 digital satellite entertainment provider. And by Gateway, where you've got a friend in the business.
Buffalo deciding to go for it on 4th and 1 at their own 42. What do you think?
I don't know if I like this call. I did the first time around going into Patriot territory here in the first quarter. I don't know about this one, though. 2 minutes left. You don't make it. Patriots have great position to go ahead and get a touchdown. You don't want to be behind 14-3 at halftime. Maybe they're just going to try to draw them off sides here. But I don't know. This isn't a great call.
Fourth down and 1. Centers and Henry in the backfield. Rob Johnson straight ahead. Needed about 6 inches, and he has it. So Greg Williams deciding to go for it deep in his own territory.
Man, that was a gutsy call by Coach Williams, and maybe he figures he's got nothing to lose. I just felt like going in at halftime, only down 7-3 on the road, really gives you a chance. You don't make it, you can go in down 14-3 and your team's in the tank.
First and 10 from the 44. Bills quickly to the line of scrimmage. Johnson out of the gun. Setting up. Makes the first man miss. Rob Johnson throws. Incomplete pass. Out of bounds for Moulds. And the difference between this Bills team on offense and the one from last year, they're utilizing the West Coast offense, or as some people like to say, the 49ers offense.
That's right. That's what I like to say. And it's right now, though, they probably don't have 1/4 of the stuff even in on what the West Coast offense can be. It takes a while. It takes time to ramp up. It takes time to have the receivers learn, the steps, the quarterbacks, the checks, the hot reads. There's a lot of things that goes into that. So it's going to take probably a season plus another offseason to really start feeling comfortable with it.
Second and 10 from the 44. Johnson again down the sideline. Incomplete. Flag on the play. Moulds and Ty Law locked up in one-on-one coverage.
I see the flag, and it looks like they threw it over in Terrence Shaw in Peerless Price's area. Wonder if Terrence Shaw was holding again.
It goes against New England.
No, it wasn't Terrence.
Illegal to hands to the face. 22 defense. 5-yard penalty. Maddox down.
So it's called against.
Right at the top of the screen, watch Terrence Shaw. He's going to try to get the jam on Peerless Price. Just gets his hand on his face mask and takes it right off. That's a love tap. This is football.
A love tap.
This is football.
Terrence Shaw, former San Diego Charger. First and 10 from the 49. Johnson in trouble, dumps it off, thrown behind Peerless Price. He was under pressure, had to get it off. Now coming up on the Nextel Halftime Report, join Jim, Mike, Randy, and Jerry for all the scores and highlights in the latest NFL news, plus a CBS News update. America fights back. A minute 21 remaining in the first half of play. And the Bills trail 7-3 with the football. There's Romeo Crennel, the defensive coordinator. Second down 10 from the 49. Johnson, flushed out, dumps it. It is caught at the 45. A 6-yard reception for Reggie Germany.
And Rob Johnson's having trouble just getting time to set his feet. The blitz and the pressure coming up the gut is so intense that he's having trouble setting his feet. Threw that ball up for grabs right there, and Reggie Germany did a great job of coming back down the sideline and having dive, going back just for a 6-yard reception.
The blitz very effective for the Pats last week against Atlanta. 9 sacks by 8 different players. Makes it 3rd and 4 from the 45. They need to go to the 41 for first. Johnson looking, steps up. Johnson trying to get outside, throws across his body, out of bounds. Flag on the play.
And you know what? They're going to call Roman Pfeiffer for holding Jay Reamersma, I imagine. Reamersma's jumping up and down and right in that area over the middle of the field.
And it is against New England. And the Patriots have done everything in their power to allow Buffalo to stay in this game.
Holding defense. Number 36. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Lawyer Malloy called for the hold. And the fans are starting to grumble here at Foxborough.
Here's Jay Reamersma right
Here at Foxborough.
Here's Jay Reamersma right there, and it looks like he's getting held by 2 guys. Lawyer Malloy and Roman Pfeiffer.
And the Patriots came into this game with 47 penalties for close to 400 yards. They have 45 yards of penalties today, penalized 5 times. 1st and 10 from the 40. Rob Johnson scrambling, stepping up. And Johnson gets to the 41. Bobby Hamilton grabbing him. And that is a sack. 4th of the day for the Pats. And Buffalo calls timeout with under a minute to go, trailing 7-3. And don't forget, coming up on the Nextel Halftime Report, join Jim, Mike, Randy, and Jerry for all the scores and highlights and the latest NFL news, plus a CBS News update, America Fights Back. 9th play of the drive for the Bills that started at their own 33. Second down, and 12 from the 42. Here's Johnson. Rolls out, fires on the run. Caught, Germany spin. Dropped out of bounds at the 27. A 15-yard gain, but he stays inbounds.
Actually tackled inbounds. Reggie Germany doing a nice job of getting open again.
And Johnson spikes the ball.
Johnson's pass incomplete.
So with 36 seconds remaining, it's 1st and 10 at the 27.
Because actually Germany's progress was stopped inbounds right here. You're going to see it looked like he got out of bounds. They're going to say his forward progress after turning upfield. You see him try to turn it upfield. He's got to know better than to do that. Take your step out of bounds. Half yard doesn't matter. And that's actually called the stop of forward progress inbounds.
2nd and 10 from the 27. Here comes the blitz. Johnson hangs in there. Oh, incomplete. That ball thrown right on the money to Germany as he came out of his break, but he wasn't prepared to catch it. Makes it 3rd down and 10.
When you're running that square out, you got to snap your head around and be ready for the ball, especially when you know you're playing a team that blitzes a lot and you know that your offensive line has had trouble protecting your quarterback.
So that means he has to throw it early sometime.
Well, he's going to throw it early a lot. Unfortunately, that's part of the problem.
Arians prepares on the sideline. 32 seconds to go. 3rd and 10 at the 27. They need to go to the 17. Here's another blitz. Malloy coming. Johnson out of the pocket. Johnson across his body. Complete.
And I think
flag on the play. He may have been over the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I think he was about a yard over. And those officials do a fantastic job of knowing just where that line of scrimmage is, and quarterback gets over that line of scrimmage. And that's exactly going to be the call.
Rob Johnson under so much pressure in this first half of play. He's been sacked 4 times. Coming into the game, the Bills had yielded 27 sacks.
Awful long discussion down there.
They go forward pass. Number 11, beyond the line of scrimmage. 5 yards. Loss of down. 4th down.
So here comes the field goal team. Jake Arians, who is 10 of 17. Good today from 24. First-year man out of the University of Alabama, Birmingham.
And with the win in the pregame warm-ups, Gus, he was good from 54-55. This is going to be 49 yards, but that still got that advantage of the win.
And another conversation by the officials. They seem to have been confused quite often in this first half, delaying play.
Well, they're discussing every call, and nothing wrong with that, but don't they know it's cold out here?
Bill Belichick, headset off. Williams still coaching. Served as the defensive coordinator for Tennessee. Jeff Fisher, his best friend. Went to a Super Bowl, losing to the Rams.
So all that talking, and they're not going to even let us in on what they were saying, huh?
Don't be outside!
Faking us out.
They are faking us out today. They're faking themselves out today. So here's Arians into attempt a 49-yarder. All spotted on the left hash mark. High snap. Reamersma gets it down, and it hits the upright. No good. He missed by 6 inches. A 49-yarder, no good for the Bills. So with 19 seconds to go in the first half, New England gets it back.
Nice job, Jay Reamersma. High snap, getting the ball down. Still decent field position for the Patriots. We saw David Patton earlier on that deep crossing route. Maybe take a chance there, get a timeout, and get yourself in field goal position.
So New England takes a knee, and they will settle for a 7-3 lead at halftime.
I don't know. Ball's almost at the 40. 19 seconds. Go for it. Guess not.
So Coach Belichick walks off the field, and that's the end of the first half with the score 7-3. We'll go to our New York studios for the Nextel halftime report after these messages and a word from your local station. Back at Foxborough, the score 7-3. Patriots on top of the Bills. Gus Johnson, Brett Jones with you, and if you look at that first half of play, it looks like the Patriots were on focus, classic looking ahead type situation for them.
And you know, Brian Cox, I had mentioned that, talked to him before the game, and he said on paper we should win this game easily, but there's another story to a team that can't go ahead and dominate, and I think that's what they're looking for, this Patriots team, the second half of the season. This is their first game of the second half. They wanted to come out and dominate this team, but they've been lethargic. They've had a couple of dumb penalties, and they've let this Buffalo Bill team stay in the game.
Only one touchdown scored in the first half of play. Kevin Falk, a 6-yard reception from Tom Brady. acrobatic move, and that's been it. And a look at the statistics from the first half of play.
And like we said, a few dumb penalties and some pretty good defense on both sides of the ball. Not a whole lot of offensive prowess here in the first half. Hopefully the second half, these guys can start lighting it up a little bit.
So New England gets the ball to begin the second half of play. Temperature dropping here at Foxborough. Still sunny though, but when the sun goes down, it's going to get a little wicked here in Massachusetts. Kevin Falk is back deep. Ryan Moorman ready to send it away. So here we go, second half underway. Line drive kick picked up at the 20. And Patrick Pass still running out of bounds. A return of 19.
Across his 35-yard line.
And here comes Tom Brady. And the quarterback comparison. Brady, 5 of 7, 47 yards. Johnson has been scrambling all day, 7 of 15, 110. Both players with an interception. So Brady starts first down and 10 at his own 38. Throwing on first down to the sideline. That one thrown low and caught though at the 44. Now it's been ruled an incomplete pass.
Charles Johnson cradling that ball, coming back and having his feet slide out from under him. It looks like initially he's got it. You can see the ball rolling around. Charles does a nice acting job trying to roll over the top of it. You see the ball on the ground right there, and then he tries to just pick it up quickly.
Makes it second down and 10 at the 38. Out of the eye, Wiggins goes in motion. Here's Brady on the play fake, looking for the home run down the field. Incomplete. David Patton, the intended receiver. And I don't know, was that ball thrown over the wrong shoulder? Looking for the inside
I think,
ball.
Well, it's tough to tell. It looked like Tom Brady was thinking he was going outside, and Patton went back inside. You see him going right by and turn around, and I'd imagine so. And you know that wind is at Tom Brady's back, but it's also blowing a little bit away from our booth here, so it might make the ball tail just a little bit to his left. Because David Patton ran right by the corner and the safety.
Third down 10 at the 38. Brady again, this time underneath. It's caught. He throws a strike at the 45-yard line. Troy Brown with a 16-yard reception. Tackled on the play by Keith Newman.
First down, Patriots.
And you got to get Troy Brown involved. Only caught one pass here in the first half. You see him making the move, going across the middle. 3 linebackers in there.
46.
Yeah, that's some tough territory to roam for a wide receiver.
2 catches for Brown. Came into this game with 53 catches for 678, averaging 12 yards per catch. First down, Brady again. Looking, Brady sacked from the backside. Kendrick Office pouncing on him. 4th sack of the day for the Bills.
And Kendrick Office coming off the corner here, and just going to go ahead and get back in there. You see Antoine Smith trying to take him low and doesn't knock him down. Kind of a coverage sack. You see Tom Brady hanging onto the ball, no receivers open, and here comes Office.
Brady almost losing it. 2nd and 15 from the 49. Draw play. Smith trying to find a hole, and he is hit hard by Keith Newman after a gain of 5. Brings up 3rd down and 10. And they need to go to the 36 for a first down. Tom Brady 4-2 as a starting quarterback, replacing Drew Bledsoe, who played in only a game and a half after being injured against the New York Jets right here. Lewis delivering a big-time hit on the all-star quarterback. Play action, Brady fires, incomplete. No flags on the play. Troy Brown wanted a flag. And the Pats come up empty on their first offensive possession of the second half.
And it looked like Troy Brown got pushed a little deep on that. Wasn't able to get back to where Tom Brady was throwing the ball.
There's Drew Bledsoe. Everybody in Boston, in the papers and sports talk radio, they say there's going to be a quarterback controversy once Drew declares that he's healthy to play. Drew says that he's looking forward to it. He's never been pushed since his arrival here in New England. High wobbly kick. Fair catch signal applied by Peerless. Price has to dive forward. Ball getting caught up in the wind. A 31-yard punt. There's Drew. He's been coaching the last few weeks. His team up 7-3. Follow all the games on NFL.com, and after the games, get in-depth analysis and recaps from the experts only at NFL.com or AOL, keyword NFL.com. Buffalo backed up, taking over at their own 15, 1st and 10. Here comes the blitz. It's Henry, flags thrown on the play. Roman Pfeiffer with the tackle. And this will go against the Bills.
And that's the last thing you want. Backed up inside your own 20. The first play of the game, or your first series of the second half.
71 offense. Half the distance. Remains first down.
Corey Halsey called for the penalty.
And it's been somebody different all along the Buffalo Bills offensive line today, but you just can't have those mistakes. You just take your momentum right away. It's cost them. And we already know they have a young team, and we know that they have an inexperienced offensive line. Haven't had the preseason starting offensive line in the game one play this whole regular season.
Only 3 plays the entire season, going back to the preseason. 1st and 17 from the 8. Rob Johnson underneath finds Centers, who's driven down at the 12. Ted Johnson with the tackle. And Ted Johnson, a very impressive young man. Bounced around as a kid, lived in Houston and California. And he's a big reader. As a matter of fact, he's the starting middle linebacker for the New England Patriots, but his favorite book, a romance novel. It's called The Notebook by Nicholas Sparks.
Oh, I thought you were talking about reading defense.
Some of his favorite authors. John Grisham. 2nd and 13 from the 12. He's on the sideline right now. Here's the handoff to Henry. Henry with running room, breaking tackle after tackle, crawls forward and gets to the 22. Ty Law with the stop after a gain of 8.
And Travis Henry's shown us a few things today. Not necessarily as many times as he would like, but he's got some positive yards. I like the way he runs. Good, hard runner. Keeps his feet moving. And that's going to be important here the second half of the season for the Buffalo Bills to keep him more involved, because you just can't put the pressure on this offensive line to protect Rob Johnson throwing the ball so many times a game.
Makes it 3rd down and 5 from the 20. They need to go to the 25 for first down. Larry Centers in the backfield. Price in motion. Johnson throws up top. It is incomplete. Intended for Reamer's maul, but to Bucky Jones.
And from up here, it looked like Bucky Jones hit Jay Reamersma before the ball even got there. It looked like he nailed him right in the back before the ball came in. Watch Reamersma sparked him to hit. Yep, you know what? That's pass interference. Referee's right there. That wasn't bang, bang. Bucky Jones hit him. The ball was still 2 feet away from him.
So Mormon comes on to punt for the 3rd time, standing at his own 5. Troy Brown, Kevin Falk, back deep. Wobbly short kick off the side of his foot, and then it bounces and is downed at the 45. Mormon has really struggled today. A 20-yard punt. And New England is in business once again.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 36. Burger King, home of the Whopper. And by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge.
George's Barbershop open for business on a Sunday. How about that? Here in Foxborough. First down and 10 for the Pats at the Buffalo 40-yard line. Antoine Smith. And Smith gets to the 38-yard line before being taken down. Tackle on the play made by Jay Foreman.
And Gus, I think the Patriots got a break on this last punt. Hakeem Akbar right here, number 29. That ball nails him right in the knee. That's a live ball. The Buffalo Bills jumped on it. They were saying fumble. Referees missed it once again. You got to be on top of that one. Patriots getting a couple breaks.
Hakeem Akbar. 2nd and 7 from the 37. Short drop throws underneath, caught at the 35. Kevin Falk out of the backfield with the reception.
And Kevin Falk has a little bit of Marshall Falk in him, catching the ball. And
they're related.
Just with the name.
They're related.
Are they?
They're cousins.
Okay, well, there you go. They can both catch the ball. I wish your name was Gus Falk, and then you could catch.
I could catch the ball, yes. 3rd down and 4. At the 34, they need to go to the 30 for first down. Brady. Underneath, incomplete. Falk, the intended receiver again, and this time a flag. A late flag coming in.
Well, that was from the other side of the field, away from the play. I wonder if they're going to call pass interference.
Yes, they do. And Greg Williams is trying to get the attention of Jeff Triplett.
Hold in place at the spot of the foul. First down.
So the Patriots get a first down.
Line of scrimmage is the
Williams irate on the sideline. First down and 10 at the 32. Here's Falk running, dives forward, gets to the 25. Pat Williams with the tackle, a gain of 7.
Let's go back to that big pass interference call this last play. I don't know, when it gets inside like that, and you're just going to see a little push, a linebacker from Cañada right, and it seemed to me that he got there the same time the ball did. I think what Greg Williams was saying on the sideline is you didn't call the one to Reamer's, but you're going to call that one? Got to be consistent.
2nd and 3 at the 25. Here's Brady stepping up, looking in the end zone for Patton. Broken up, flag on the play. This will be interference against Antoine Winfield. And the Patriots will get it at the Buffalo 1.
And I think what you're going to see is Antoine Winfield just using his
Interference. Defense, number 26. The foul occurred in the end zone, therefore it will be placed on the 1-yard line. 1st and 10.
And Antoine Winfield saying, "What did I do? It's coming right at you. Let's see. Is he gonna make contact right there?" And he does. He makes contact with David Patton and pushes him. You've got the 5-yard chuck zone. Now it wasn't a big push, but you can't contact the receiver downfield. And you see him push him, take him right out of the route.
A 25-yard penalty. 1st and goal from the 1. Smith stopped short of the goal line. Kendrick Office leading the way for the Bills. And that'll bring up 2nd and goal.
And you know Antoine Smith wants that touchdown versus former mates. Let's see if they give him a chance to get in the end zone one more time.
Smith, 13 carries, 43 yards today. So here we go, 2nd and goal from the 1. Smith again. Smith. Dives. Touchdown, New England.
And you know Antoine Smith wanted that one versus former team, and there was penetration in the backfield, and that was all him. You're going to see Sean Price, 91, getting penetration and having a shot at him right there. There's no way Antoine Smith should have got in. Kept those legs churning, reached the ball over the end line.
So Adam Vinatieri comes in to attempt the extra point. It's up and good. 7:27 to go in the 3rd quarter. The Patriots take a 14-3 lead. Antoine Smith, 230 pounds, and he hits Pater. Tom Brady and the New England offense taking a 14-3 lead. Antoine Smith, 5th touchdown of the season. Here's Clements returning. Clements breaking it up, and Clements down at the 42. Adam Vinatieri, the kicker, making the tackle. 7:18 to play in the 3rd.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Budweiser, with the crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer. And by Norelco, for an unexpectedly close shave, guaranteed. Put it to the test.
Welcome to Foxborough Stadium. I'm Gus Johnson along with Brent Jones. The New England Patriots lead at 14-3 on a 1-yard touchdown run from Antoine Smith and a 6-yard touchdown reception. Kevin Falk from Tom Brady. Buffalo takes over at their own 44. Rob Johnson rolling out of the pocket, delivers, finds Peerless Price. And Price has 9, maybe 10 yards on the play. Flag, though, on the field.
There is no foul on the play for a face mask.
So no foul on the play.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was. I'm just going to say no comment.
2nd down 1. Rob Johnson hanging in there. Battered and bruised all day, and this offense has stalled a number of times. Johnson has been sacked 4 times on the afternoon.
Speaking of stalled, Rob Johnson's getting frustrated. He wants to play to get in, saying, hurry up, give me the play. And, you know, and one of the things that the Bills have to do, they got to get the ball in the hands of their difference maker, and their difference maker is Eric Moulds. They haven't been able to do that enough this year.
Late clock down to 2. Johnson has to burn a timeout.
And, man, we saw that one coming. Whoa.
So some confusion on the Buffalo sideline forced the Bills to call a timeout. 2nd and 1 from the 47. Here's Moulds with the catch, and he is swarmed under at midfield. About 6 Patriots running in his direction. They lose 3. Thursday on CBS, the old alliances are now shattered and the Survivor game has been rocked. Now the competition intensifies. Don't miss an all-new Survivor Thursday on CBS. 3rd down and 4 from midfield. Johnson. Incomplete. Intended for Henry out of the backfield, but Johnson under pressure once again. And there's a little skirmish going on at the 45.
When 2nd and 1 and going back to that flanker screen and having Eric Moulds come 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 3 yards isn't exactly the way I meant to get the ball to Eric Moulds. And then all of a sudden it's 3rd and 4. And that's a huge difference. I think if you're the Buffalo Bills, you got to get first downs when you can get them. We talk about establishing that run game. How about pounding Travis Henry back up in there?
Troy Brown at his own 20. And another poor kick by Brian Moorman.
Very Russ Delin-like.
So Moorman goes off. Little disappointed. Mold's disappointed as well. 3 catches, 7 yards. And the question of the day, what has been the most surprising aspect of the 2001 season thus far? The emergence of Tom Brady, the Bears, the struggles of the Vikings, the overall strength in the AFC Central, or the Niners or the Packers? Antoine Smith over the left side. It's all over the field.
I thought you were intentionally leaving out the 49er thing.
No, would never do that.
Yeah.
49ers are playing well.
I didn't even get a chance to make my pick. I'm picking Tom Brady.
Tom Brady?
Yep.
It wouldn't be because we're in New England this week.
No, I like Tom Brady.
Offside. Defense. Number 91. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Sean Price. Once again, take a look. What has been the most surprising aspect of the 2001 season?
I'm taking that one, even though we are in New England. The obvious pick, though, was the Niners.
Well, I think the obvious pick is the Bears at 6-1. First down and 5 from the 43. And they run the football. It's Mark Edwards going straight ahead, picks up a couple. Injury update, Grant Williams is out. He has a shoulder injury. His return is questionable. He's been replaced by Matt Light, the rookie out of Purdue.
And Matt Light had been banged up because he had been the starter, and he'd shown a lot of progress this year. Stout tackle for the New England Patriots.
Second down, 2 from the 46. Handed off to Smith. Antoine close to the first down. A flag on the play. Been a really sloppy, sluggish game for both teams.
And I actually think it was the Buffalo Bills who were offside this time. They just keep killing themselves with dumb penalties. And
Offside. Defense. Number 91. 5-yard penalty. The result of the penalty. First down.
Sean Price.
you just can't do that. And Greg Williams had told us that, we're a young team and we just don't have enough talent across the board. We've talked about the salary cap situation, but you got to play smart. Your players have to play smart, give you a chance to win.
First down from the 49 for the Patriots. Tom Brady looking, throws, it's caught. Edwards on the screen. Edwards running hard, gets to the 42. Mark Edwards stopped by Jay Foreman after a gain of 8.
Well, we've seen a couple passes to Mark Edwards today and Kevin Falk as well. And this Buffalo Bill team, and we've talked about him. And here's Tom Brady. He's going to take a shot. Luckily, he was throwing a screen pass because he was going to get drilled by Fisher. But we've talked about this Bills defense, and they've done a pretty good job, Gus, against David Patton and Troy Brown.
2 very good and young cover corners in Antoine Winfield and Nate Clements. Brady to throw once again. All day to throw, and he just loses this one right out of bounds.
Brady's pass incomplete.
Tom, a California native, his father in attendance all the way from California, Tom Brady Sr.
Sees himself up on the Jumbotron in the stadium.
It's a wave.
A Bay Area guy, San Mateo, an awful lot to be proud of.
Works as a traveling salesman. Third down, 3 from the 42. To the sideline. Nicely done by the Patriots. Charles Johnson with the reception. First down, New England after a gain of 6. Ken Irvin knocking him out of bounds.
We've talked about Falk and Edwards catching a few passes. A few balls thrown the way of Charles Johnson today, the third wide receiver for the New England Patriots. And Mr. Brady likes that. First down, move the chains.
First down from the 36 for the young Tom Brady. His second season out of the University of Michigan. Sets up another screen. This time Falk. Don't fool anybody as the Bills string it out and knock them out of bounds. Lance Brown, first man to him. A loss of 5.
And there were 3 Buffalo Bills defenders when Tom Brady turned to throw that screen. No place for Kevin Falk to go. Read great by that right side of the Buffalo Bills defensive line. You see him in there, and they've been holding their own today.
Offense really hadn't picked up. So the Bills defense on the field for a long time today. Second 15 from the 41. Brady steps up in the pocket underneath. Kevin Falk still running. Dragged down at the 28 by Keith Newman. A 13-yard pickup. And right now the Patriots kind of taking whatever Buffalo gives them. A lot of little dinks and dunks.
Yeah, they haven't given up that big play. You know, David Patton, Troy Brown, the deep route or deep over. We've only seen one all day with David Patton coming across the middle. But Buffalo Bills doing a nice job of funneling things inside. And that's one of the positives about Tom Brady. He'll hit the back. He'll hit the fullback. He'll hit the tight end or the third wide receiver. That's what you got to do to move the ball.
32. Brady again underneath. It's caught. This time by his big tight end, Jermaine Wiggins. Wiggins upended, but he picks up the first down. Clements with the tackle.
And that's just what you just said, Gus. You got to go ahead and move the chains. Take what they give you. Give you 4 yards on 3rd and 3. Go ahead and take it. You see him hitting the big tight end Wiggins, and that's the one area that this Patriots team hasn't capitalized yet. Hey, there's a guy that knows that Mr. Brady's been on the air. He said, hey, I'm going to get my 2 seconds of fame and stand up. Somebody tell that guy to sit down.
First and 10 at the 24. Inside handoff, Mark Edwards, and Edwards written down at the 21.
And I was saying, actually, Tom Brady in this New England Patriots offense, they've done a great job spreading it around. The one guy that they haven't really involved is the tight end, Jermaine Wiggins. He can be, and we know from all those years of doing Patriots games and playing against them, Ben Coates, I mean, he was the offense. What happened to the tight end in the New England offense?
Brady has hit 6 different receivers today. 2nd down and 7 at the 21. Brady again, under pressure. Brady scrambling, and he's dropped. And that is the 5th sack of the day for the Buffalo Bills. Tyrone Robertson.
Let's watch Tyrone Robertson keep battling through right inside. Keep those legs moving, trip up the quarterback. Nice job. That's called tenacity. You got to keep those arms and legs pumping. You never know when a quarterback's going to break the pocket. Just sneak in there and get a big sack.
And this will take us to the end of the 3rd quarter. And that is the end of the 3rd quarter with the score 14-3. We'll return to Foxborough after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. The scoring by quarters, New England with a 6-yard touchdown to Kevin Falk in the first, a 1-yard plunge by Antoine Smith in the third, 14-3 the score. 10th play of the drive, 3rd and 13. Brady dancing, now rolls. Brady lumbering and is sacked once again. Tyrone Robertson, 2 straight sacks, number 6 on the day for the Bills.
And there was just no one for Tom Brady to throw the ball to. Nobody was open. Deep routes down the field. Nice coverage by the defensive backfield for the Buffalo Bills.
So Brady trots off on the day, 13 of 19, 97 yards. And Adam Vinatieri comes in. Ball is going to be spotted at the 35. 45-yard attempt. He's already missed today from 43.
Gus, that wind's going to push the ball a little right here.
Gets it up. It's no good.
This kick is no good.
He's missed a 43-yarder and a 45-yarder. Adam Vinatieri, one of the better kickers in the National Football League, has struggled today, and coming into this game, he struggled against the Buffalo Bills.
Doesn't like playing the Bills. Was perfect versus the AFC East coming into the game. Man.
First and 10 at the 35. Johnson with pressure, dumps it off to Centers. Flag on the play in the backfield. Centers picking up a lot of yardage. Richard Seymour with the tackle.
And that's going to be a roughing the passer call versus Willie McGinnis, Gus. Just taking out his frustrations on Rob Johnson. Haven't called Willie McGinnis' name a whole lot today.
Had 2 sacks last week versus Atlanta. 4 in 2 games.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Number 55 of the defense. Blow to the head. 15 yards. First down.
He's getting his hands up and takes the shot to the face.
Wow.
Yeah, but still, you know what? Willie knows better than that. They protect the quarterbacks in this league, and he knows the ball's away. And that's not a hard shot, because if Willie McGinnis hits you, you're going to know it. But still, the referees are trying to protect these quarterbacks, and you miss a field goal, and you give up a big play, and you have a bad penalty, and you let the Buffalo Bills right back in the game.
First and 10 at the New England 34. Here's Henry. And Henry goes nowhere, but always going places in New York. Here's Jim Nantz with an update.
Well, check this out. Marvin Harrison catching 2 touchdowns in the third quarter, 3 for the day. This one 40 yards from Manning. And Harrison has 10 touches on the season. Colts up 7 on Miami. 2 minutes to play third quarter. Let's go back to you. Gus and Brett.
One of the great young players in the National Football League, and Harrison is going to have to step it up with the injury to Edgerrin James. 2nd and 12 from the 36. Rob Johnson throws a screen. It's Henry, and he is tackled from behind. Willie McGinnis once again jumping on his back. And we'll jump on Jim's back. Here he is again.
Well, the other guy having a huge day statistically, we saw Harrison. It's Curtis Martin, 112 yards on the ground and 3 touchdowns today. He too has 10 on the season. The Jets blanking Kansas City. Let's go back to you.
The number 1 versus number 2 rushers in the league going at it. Curtis Martin and Priest Holmes, as Jim Nantz and company told us on the NFL Today. And right now, the Jets looking extremely good. Looking for win number 6. 3rd and 13 from the 37. Johnson standing in there. Incomplete, intended for Moulds. Covered by Ty Law. Moulds just can't catch a break today.
No, that ball just too far inside. You see Eric Moulds coming across the middle of the field. Ty Law right with him, and frustrating for Eric Moulds. And talked about the success that Marvin Harrison has been having today and this year. Eric Moulds is right there. Same draft class, same type of ball player, but they haven't been able to find a way to get him the ball this year.
Moulds more of a physical receiver. Here's Mormon. Gets it off. And it bounces in the end zone. Buffalo with a golden opportunity, but Chris Watson unable to down it. A 37-yard punt, but it will be a net of 17 yards. New England at the 20 after this.
Fans, be sure.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the Acura MDX, taking the SUV to a place it's never been before. MasterCard. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. And by Rocky Mountain Cold Coors Light. Are you ready for a cold one?
And welcome back to New England. We've got a big-time politician in attendance. That's Governor Jane Swift, from Massachusetts with her kids. They hand it off, Antoine Smith picks up 8 yards.
Will you keep her off the air, please, and let me focus on the game?
Okay, Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots.
Boy, a lot to be excited about, Mr. Kraft, for next year. The new stadium, CMGI Stadium, and overlooking the old stadium here. It is a great venue.
Here's Smith again, running over the right side. Sean Polk with the tackle. And the new stadium right next door. And that stadium beautiful already. Look at it.
And you know my favorite part of that stadium.
That's the Canadian Blue Steel.
Canadian Blue Steel. It looks really sharp, very classy.
Be open for play starting next season. 3rd down 1 from the 29. Mark Edwards running the football. 10:47 to play here in the 4th quarter. And Office with the tackle. Now Tuesday on CBS, the one and only Michael Jackson reunites with his brothers for the first time in nearly 20 years and performs with today's biggest stars. Don't miss Michael Jackson's 30th anniversary celebration Tuesday on CBS. 1st and 10 from the 31. They swing it out, Kevin Falk tackled at the 35. Pat Williams with the stop after a gain of 5 yards.
And just keeping the clock moving for this New England Patriots team. And hasn't been pretty, but 11-point lead with 9.5 minutes left in the game. And grind out a few more first downs and call it a day.
Still a lot of time remaining. But that Buffalo defense has been on the field for most of this game. Antoine Smith, the physical runner. Schobel with the tackle. Schobel has had an excellent game. 3 sacks. And Antoine Smith, 17 carries, 55 yards.
And we talk about this Buffalo Bills team being a young team, and you've seen Schobel and you've seen Winfield and Clements, and their leading tackler and big leader on the defense, Sam Cowart, their linebacker, out for the season with Achilles injury. But you know, there's some things on the horizon for this Buffalo Bills team. I think they're going to be a tougher team the second half of the season and next year coming up.
Look at the time of possession. Brady fumbles the snap, picks it up and runs forward and makes a gain out of it. Gets to the 40. Robertson with the tackle. He's short of the first down.
And let's just see if it's right there on the exchange. Tom doesn't necessarily get a good grip on it. Gets the back end of the ball, a little bit bobble there, and has the presence of mind to do a spin move and get forward. Almost came up with that first down.
So Ken Walter comes in to punt, standing at his own 25. Peerless Price, Nate Clemens at the 20. Wobbly kick, it's short. And it will be downed at the 34, 26-yard punt. 7:57 to play in the 4th quarter. New England with the lead. 14-3 New England leads Buffalo. 7:57 to go in the 4th quarter of play. And the Bills break to the line of scrimmage at their own 35. Still in this game if they can put something together right here. Rob Johnson setting up, looking. Nobody there, decides to run. Johnson at the 40, gets out of bounds at the 42. Mike Vrabel chasing him out of bounds after a gain of 7. Next, stay with us for all the action at the Franklin Templeton Shootout. We'll see some great names in action. And John Daly, Frank Licklider enter today's final round in the lead. 2nd down 3 from the 42. Johnson sidearms it. Incomplete. Eric Mold Patriots did have a step on Ty Law. Just too much pressure today for Rob Johnson.
And you know, Eric Moulds did have a step on Ty Law. No safety on top. And Eric Moulds has got to be getting frustrated. And you made the point. Rob Johnson not having a whole lot of time. And when he has had those few times where he has had extra time, there's been nobody open.
However, you have to credit the Bills. Although they are 1-6, they continue to fight hard and play hard. And that's because Greg Williams has instilled that in this young football team. Not going to be easy right now. Sometimes you have to take a step backwards to take a few forwards. And that's what the Bills and their entire organization has kept in mind this season.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Be you, nothing's better. Dr. Pepper. And by Sun America, the retirement specialist.
Third down and 3 for Buffalo at the 42. Johnson under pressure, still running, throws incomplete. Reavers bought the intended receiver, but a flag on the play in the backfield. And this will go against New England. Richard Seymour, the rookie out of Georgia, first-round pick, picks up the flag himself, then throws it down.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Number 93 of the defense. 15 yards, automatic first down.
And here comes big Richard Seymour right here, 93, coming into the screen. And, you know, I just don't know, Gus. A second time today. If it's a shot.
So Seymour trots off. Yeah, I don't agree with that one.
Yeah, hey, you still got to remember it's football. It's a tough game.
And it's not flag football.
But it has been today.
Yes. First and 10 from the 43. Here's Johnson to pass. Stripped. Loose. Who has it? Bills will hold on. Teddy Bruschi stripping the football from Rob Johnson.
Teddy Bruschi can be a force all over the field. Coverage linebacker, good speed, sideline to sideline. Can blitz as well. Watch him come in and go over the top, and you see the punch right there on the ball. Rob Johnson gets a great break. The Bills will be able to fall on it.
Second down, 14. Bruschi in his 6th year. They need to go to the 33 for a first down. Here comes the blitz. Johnson down the field. Incomplete. Peerless Price, the intended receiver, to Bucky Jones coming over to cover. Brings up third down at 14.
And you see when you get that blitz, they've been keeping a lot of people in to protect Rob Johnson. There's a shot, Peerless Price into double coverage, and that's not exactly an open receiver, but Rob Johnson didn't have any other options. And that's part of the problem. When your offensive line can't protect, you've got to keep your tight end, your backs in to help pass protect. But those are guys that are important in the passing game. Jay Reaversma, Larry Centers, they got to be out catching the ball.
Third and 14. Reaversma lines up. Johnson forced to scramble. Johnson looking across the field. Caught. Reggie Germany. Germany with the first down inside the New England 20. Lawyer Merloy tackles him, but it's after a gain of 28.
And Rob Johnson knows not to throw that ball, but he didn't have any choice, and you've got to have a gun to stop and throw that ball back across the field right in front of the face of Otis Smith. Watch Rob Johnson. He knows, hey, there's nothing down there. Should I do it? I probably shouldn't do it, but here it goes. And that ball goes right across Otis Smith's head. Germany, nice job pulling away. That's a dangerous throw. You've got to have a strong arm to make that throw.
First and 10 from the 19. Here comes a blitz. Johnson picks it up. Flag on the play. Johnson in the end zone. It's a touchdown, but let's see. knee. There's a flag. And it's holding against Buffalo.
And Greg Williams saying, what do I need to do?
Holding, 85, offense. 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
So Jay Reamersma called for the hold. Negates the touchdown.
And he's just going to get his hand. It's not a real blatant one, but watch him. He's going to get his hand on the outside of Lawyer Malloy. He's getting some speed. And he just kind of hooks him by the neck and gets his arm around there. And they're going to call that every time. And it negates this nice throw out of the pocket by Rob Johnson. Right on the money to Peerless Price.
Now it's first down and 20. At the New England 29. Johnson underneath. Caught by Avion Black. Lawyer Malloy closing quickly on the play after a gain of 4.
And guess if they don't get a chance to get a first down, I think now's the time to go ahead. If you're facing a fourth down situation, to go ahead and kick the field goal. You'll still be 8 points down, but at least it's a one possession game if you can get that 2-point conversion.
Second down, 16 from the 25. Fans chanting defense. Patriots looking to go 5-4. Johnson in trouble. Terrell Buckley coming in and sacking Rob Johnson for a loss of 6. And Johnson is down.
And we talked at the top of the show, all the Patriots blitzes, especially from the defensive backfield, they had 12 last week, and you see Rob Johnson thinks he's safe getting out of the pocket, but here comes Buckley from the corner spot, just the full weight of him right on that shoulder. Man, that's a tough blow to take, and you see Rob Johnson right at the end of that play reach up with his left arm to grab his right shoulder. Let's see if we can stay with this replay right there. Buckley right on top of it. You see Rob Johnson grabbing it right there.
And Johnson is still down in a lot of pain. The backup quarterback is Alex Van Pelt. Johnson often injured in his career in the NFL as Van Pelt starts to get loose.
And Gus, that's really scary for Rob Johnson because that's the right shoulder. And you see quarterbacks get hit all the time and have that off shoulder. But man, when it's your throwing shoulder, that's a whole new ball game. And you see Buckley, just his whole weight, crashing right down on it. Ugh. And this is why this is so tough to pick up, Gus. Watch Buckley out of the slot, coming from the corner spot. Nobody's looking out there. You see centers inside, pick up the inside guy, and here comes Buckley, untouched. Rob Johnson never saw him.
So Johnson has to be helped off. Alex Van Pelt comes into the game in his 6th season out of Pittsburgh.
And right now, Gus, I'd go for 10 yards and get in field goal range. Don't even go for the big first down. You want to have a chance to kick a field goal. You can't do it from...
And there's some confusion.
Jeez.
A timeout. 1 remaining now for Buffalo. 4:17 to play. New England 14, Buffalo 3. Rob Johnson being looked at by the training staff. Alex Van Pelt, who spent the past 7 seasons in Buffalo as a backup quarterback, originally a Kansas City Chief. 3rd down and 27 from the 36. New England showing blitz. They're bringing everybody. Van Pelt stands in there, underthrows Eric Moulds, who is open. So now what do you do?
Oh, man. Well,
4th and 27 at the 36.
Well, that's what happens when you don't get the 10 or 15 yards and get yourself in field goal range. You got to go for it. You don't have a choice now, so now you got to pick up 26 yards. And Van Pelt had Eric Moulds coming across the middle. It just maybe sending out those blitzes. If he had time, he actually set his feet and just underthrew the ball. And that's what happens as a backup quarterback coming off the sidelines. You're just not warm. It's a cold day, and now you got to pick up a ton of yards.
Now New England wants to call timeout. Each team with one remaining. 4:12 to play in the fourth quarter. Back to Foxborough after this.
Number 10.
Alex Van Pelt remains in the game to play quarterback for the injured Rob Johnson. New England called the timeout, gave Van Pelt an opportunity to get his head together and go to the sideline. What do you do if you're the Patriots?
Well, if you're the Patriots, you blitz because you need 27 yards for a first down. That means you have to actually have time to let your receivers get that far downfield. You blitz Alex Van Pelt, you put the pressure on him. He's not going to have time to set his feet. You don't want to give him time to throw the ball down the field.
They need to go to the 9 for first down. 4th and 27. Van Pelt, deep drop, looks underneath. Complete. Reggie Germany, the intended receiver.
Hey, what is that? What are you throwing a 10-yard pass for on 4th and 26 or 27?
Because he had no time to throw.
You throw the ball up in the end zone. You fight. You just don't throw a 10-yard pass because you know there's no way you're going to get ready to go out of bounds. You're not going to get the first down.
Bill Belichick congratulating his defense as they come off the field. Rob Johnson now being helped into the locker room. And that shoulder looks very tender. First down and 10 from the 36 for the Patriots. Trying to milk the clock now. 4:04 and counting. Antoine Smith running. Now Wednesday on CBS, don't miss Garth Brooks in a one-of-a-kind concert. Garth Brooks live coast to coast Wednesday on CBS. There's Rob Johnson.
Oh, that's a tough one, especially on your throwing shoulder.
He's been criticized for not being able to stay healthy during his time in Buffalo, and he was in the middle of the big quarterback controversy in Buffalo last year with Doug Flutie. Johnson winning out, the new coaching staff deciding to retain Rob Johnson rather and send Doug Flutie away, and Flutie has found success in San Diego. The two teams met this season with San Diego winning. Second down and 10. Buffalo out of timeouts now. At the 36. Brady to the sideline. Edwards gets to the 41, making the 42, gaining 5. Rayon Hill with the tackle. And another injured Bill is on the field. It's Pat Williams.
Things are going to go from bad to worse here for the Buffalo Bills.
We spoke to Pat Williams yesterday, and here's a guy that loves playing football, loves life, an avid bowler. He said that he was going to come out and fight as hard as he could, and he was trying to get his teammates to jump on his back.
And a great battle all day with Damian Woody, the best offensive lineman here for the Patriots, the center. And I think Pat Williams just gets caught up in a big cluster. See him get knocked down and didn't see anything initially. You just wonder maybe it's that right knee that got kicked, or his cleats were planted and it got twisted a little bit. You can see him moving his knees down there, making sure they're okay.
That's a good sign. Big Pat helped up. Pat Williams, best friends with the man that departed to go to Chicago, Ted Washington. Washington and the Bears experiencing a lot of success. He says he talks to Ted all the time, once or twice a week. They were big bowling buddies every Tuesday during their day off. Ted tells him to keep working hard.
So the last time Ted calls him, he said he didn't recognize his voice. He said, "Who's this?" And Ted said, "This is 6-1. Who's this?"
So Pat Williams on the sideline. 3:30 to go in this football game. 3rd down 5 for the Patriots at their own 41. First down could do it. Buffalo with no timeouts remaining. Play action. Brady sets up. Loses the ball. It's a scramble. And Buffalo has it inside the 20. I believe Jay Foreman picked up the fumble.
Gus, that was a heck of a pickup. When that ball is on the ground, coaches tell you to dive on it. Watch Foreman go ahead and get the ball after Brady's carrying it around and gets the ball stripped. The ball's kicked downfield. That's one heck of a pickup. You got to just dive on it. And he almost lofted right there at the end.
3rd turnover of the day for the Patriots. And all of a sudden, with 2:53 left, Buffalo still with a fighting chance. The ball at the New England 17.
Well, the only thing that could hurt you in that situation, no timeouts for Buffalo, is a turnover. It's kind of a strange turn of events. Why don't you just run the ball? 3rd and 5, let the clock run.
Van Pelt remains in the game. Here's Alex Van Pelt looking in the end zone. Incomplete off the fingertips of Peerless Price.
And wow, you got to give Alex Van Pelt some credit for making that toss into the corner of the end zone. Steps up and puts it on the money over Terrell Buckley. Peerless Price should have caught that ball. Right on the hands. Tough grab. But still, that's a touchdown. Look, got to catch those when the game's on the line.
2nd and 10 at the 17. Van Pelt down the middle. This time he holds on. Touchdown Buffalo. And I believe the Bills are going to go for 2.
And you got to go for 2 right now because it would put you within 3 points.
So this crowd silenced here at Foxborough Stadium. 14-9 the score. Buffalo in to attempt a 2-point conversion. They haven't made one all season. Germany in motion. Van Pelt looking. He got it. It's Moles. And we have a 3-point game with 2:43 to go. No timeouts for the Bills. 1 timeout for New England.
And that just shows you how important those timeouts are. Buffalo had to spend a few today with confusion getting the play in. They even had a break after Rob Johnson got hurt. And they still had to call a timeout. Here's the 2-pointer, Eric Moles, just running a slant route. Give him the ball. He's going to make a play. Let's go back to the touchdown. I think this is a post route by Peerless Price, just coming across the middle, and just Otis Smith a step too late. Nothing fancy. Van Pelt putting it right on the numbers. Sets him up outside, comes back underneath, ball delivered on time. Let's take the big shot out here, up here on the all-22. Just going to run a little head fake outside, come across the middle. Safety coming out into the flat. And your quarterback throws it on steps. Just beats Otis Smith.
So that will set up an onside kick. Buffalo looking for the ball again.
You got the blocking.
I guess they got both kickers out there. So if you're the Patriots, you don't know which way it's going.
Mormon and Arians. This one tapped. It's loose. Oh, New England falls on it.
Whoa.
Buffalo had a chance.
It did have a chance. chance. That was a great onside kick. The double kicker formation.
I've never seen that.
I've never seen it yet. And just a little dribbler, and it worked out perfectly almost into the soft spot of the field, but nobody could get the ball right there. Oh,
Arians kicking. And Vrabel on the bottom of the pile, but a Bill had a chance to grab it. And let's see who it was.
I think it was Philip Crosby, number 41. Looked like it was coming right into his chest. Nice fake with the double kicker formation. You can see Crosby right here. There it is. Oh.
New England running. Antoine Smith carrying. The clock will stop at the 2-minute warning. No timeouts for Buffalo, 1 timeout for New England.
Going to have to hold them 3 and out. And we talked about those timeouts, so important. Burned a couple with some miscommunication, some lateness on the sideline, getting the play in. Now it's coming back to haunt you here at the end of the game.
Tom Brady over, talking to his head coach. This will take us to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to play. 14-11. New England trying to hold on. Tonight on 60 Minutes, what was it that caused the nightmares that terrified New York's tough-as-nails police commissioner? Let him tell you. Tonight on 60 Minutes, followed by Oscar winner Richard Dreyfuss in the new hit series, The Education of Max Bickford. Then celebrate America's all-time favorite comedy. Don't miss the I Love Lucy 50th anniversary special tonight on CBS.
6 yards to go.
2 minutes to play, 2nd down, 6 to go for the Patriots. At the 41, here's Antoine Smith. With he breaks free. Smith heading in the end zone. Touchdown New England. Take that, Buffalo.
Well, Antoine Smith wasn't looking for revenge today, but he certainly got it. And this is just going to be a quick inside hitting play, and he was off to the races. Moving those legs, running right over some defenders for Buffalo.
Adam Vinatieri in to attempt the extra point. It's up and good. Antoine Smith breaks it into the end zone for the long touchdown run of 42 yards. He now has 100 yards rushing on 20 carries.
And watch the strength and power. Antoine Smith right at you on a play designed to get 2 or 3 yards. Bang, keeps those legs moving. And nobody from Buffalo wants to tackle him, and he's off to pay dirt.
Antoine Smith discarded by the Bills, leaving Buffalo, looking for a home here in New England. He's found one.
You see it clogged up. He actually stops his legs. Nobody wants to wrap him up and tackle him. He's too strong. If you're not going to wrap up, Antoine Smith's going to run right by you.
So Antoine Smith said he wanted to run for over 200 against his former team. That's what he told us. But he'll take 20 carries, 100 yards. Back-to-back 100-yard games.
And 2 touchdowns. You got to feel good about that if you're a Patriots fan. Put a little exclamation point. And how close did the Buffalo Bills come on that onside kick to getting that ball back?
He ran right over Nate Clements. As the ball blows off the tee. So Buffalo will get it back, but not a lot of hope on that Buffalo sideline. Ball falls down again. I believe Otis Smith will hold it on the tee.
I hope Otis doesn't pull it away this time.
Tell you what, you give me a hard time. Line drive, fielded, tossed backwards at the 30. Sean Bryson, 11-yard return. And let's go back with the game 14-11, the onside kick.
You're going to see Sammy Morris, 33, and 41 Philip Crosby have a chance on the double kicker formation. It's got to go 10 yards. There it is. There's Sammy Morris. Now here comes Philip Crosby right there. I mean, you can't get a better orchestrated kick than that. That's going to be your best opportunity on an onside kick. Bills just couldn't quite come up with it.
First down and 10 at the 41. Alex Van Pelt in for Johnson. Van Pelt underneath, throws another good ball at the 40. Reggie Germany with the reception, a gain of 20 as the Bills hustle to the line of scrimmage.
And just remember, if you somehow score a touchdown again, or even just get in field goal range, you still have your opportunity to come back and get that onside kick again.
Germany has had a very good game. 4 catches, 69 yards. He's a rookie out of Ohio State, 7th round pick.
The key here, protect Van Pelt. You know, the Patriots have called off the dogs. They're not blitzing. Where's that blitz? The whole day, Rob Johnson couldn't set his feet. Don't rush 3 guys now and give him time to pick apart your zone.
Defensive backs in for the Patriots. They look up top. It is intercepted. Ty Law. And here comes Ty Law on the return. Law cuts it inside, goes down at the 27. And that will do it. A 21-yard return. No timeouts for the Bills, so the Patriots will take a knee and improve to 5-4 on the season after an 0-2, 1-3 start.
And Peerless Price had given up on his route. He was just kind of gliding down there. I don't think he expected the ball, and all of a sudden here was the ball coming right down to him. It was a little bit over his head. Clearly didn't look like he was the first read on that.
So things get a little bit more difficult for the New England Patriots. St. Louis and New Orleans both coming to town, and the Rams just clobbering Carolina today. New Orleans losing last week to the Jets. So the last play of the game coming up. Bill Belichick knows his team played a sloppy football game, but he'll take a victory any way he can get it. So the New England Patriots hold on to win behind some solid running from Antoine Smith. 20 carries, 100 yards, couple of touchdowns. The 42-yard run, winning it for New England. Smith shaking hands with his former teammates. There's Big Pat Williams. So for Brent Jones, I'm Gus Johnson saying so long from Foxborough, where the Patriots defeat the Bills 21-11. Coming up next, the NFL Today with all the latest scores and highlights. Now let's go to New York and Jim Nantz.